Hey, this is Joe from 718 Outdoors, and thanks for watching our ride video. This is our 12th season, and for this season what I really wanted to do in terms of the videos that we make about our rides is be a little more descriptive with the narrative, be a little more descriptive with the graphics and the titles and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you like this. This is our new approach to making some videos. And again, this is the first video of our, what I believe is our at least 12th season doing this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hey, this is Joe at 718 Outdoors. Welcome to our first trip of the year. Going up to Mountain Lakes, about 58 miles. A little cold, we're mid-March here. A little wetter than I thought. But in terms of plot line, and in terms of what I think about when I think about these trips, the two things I'm thinking about, we have some weather tomorrow that we may have to deal with, but I think we'll be through most of it. And also the campsite doesn't have any water, so we have to bring water in. And the third thing is there are a lot of beginners in this trip, so kind of making this world kind of inviting for them. So welcome to the first micro tour of the season, and I hope you enjoy this little film. Oh yeah. Morning.
Joe. Chuck Turner.
Chuck, how are you? Nice
Pleasure
to meet you.
man.
All right, we are leaving and on the Hudson River Greenway, making our way north. Now officially on the detour for the Hudson River Greenway. About 7 or 8 miles in.
I was like trying something
We are at the Corkscrew. First stop, mile 10 of Microtour 1.
by hand, right?
Well, no, I do ride with GPS.
Are we going to the park?
Our next rest stop is Van Cortlandt Park. This is about mile 15, and the group will stay here, and we'll get everyone together for the next piece of this. Well, so far so good. I don't like to jinx anything, but this group's moving along at a pretty good clip. A lot of times in the winter or the colder trips, you tend to have a group that's kind of a little more on top of their stuff in terms of their commuting year-round on their bike, those kinds of things. These are famous last words, of course, and I'm probably jinxing this trip, but so far we're doing pretty good as a group. Stuff?
It's gotta have one mechanical issue. No flats yet though.
Casual 100 miles.
Knows each other? No, everyone's making friends. Here we are at the Trestle Bridge, about mile 42. The group has stopped, waiting for a few more to roll in. We got 15 miles left to go.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Time to hit some gravel. Just arrived in camp. Everyone is setting up their tents.
Surface area. just bring this the sausage. Jorge brought the packet.
I can't make it frigid. Test it out.
Feelings. I need background music. I don't think I need to win this ball.
It's actually warmer this morning than it was all of yesterday. Group is mostly up. We're going to get ready to leave at 8:30, but campsite is ready. The campfire is going. It was a good night's sleep last night. It wasn't that cold. Yeah, so thanks.
That wasn't as bad as the...
Nothing doing it, crew.
Yeah. Because you also don't want them to be like.
I get the feeling that the dog, like... My stop this time.
All right, day two of Micro Tour 1. We're all heading home. Excellent trip. What a great group. We had some weather, you know, mid-March we got off easy in my opinion. Decent weather last night. It actually got warmer through the night. Woke up at about 51 degrees, which is pretty great. Heading back now into some wind, so you might not be able to hear me too well. But we are heading back now. Had some rain squalls this morning real quick. But that should be it. We all should be home. Big storms coming tonight. We all should be home and tucked in bed by the time that all hits. So the next part of this video is when I get home, I'm gonna go over, you know, how the trip went from a gear point of view, a bike point of view, my personal fitness, nutrition, all that kind of stuff. So I'll give you the rundown. I can't do it right now because I'm riding this bike here, but we'll talk to you in a second. So I'm back. Micro Tour 1, what a great trip. Like I mentioned on the ride, we're gonna evaluate, kind of a post-evaluation of the ride itself, the trip itself, and I'm gonna do it in 6 categories. And this isn't really grading, this is just more about talking about what went well and what could be improved. So the 6 categories are gonna be the group dynamic, the camping site, the route and the riding, and then in a personal sense, it's gonna be about the gear that I used, the bike that I rode, how it performed, and then, you know, kind of overall fitness and nutrition and those kinds of things. So I'm just gonna go through that relatively quick. I'm not gonna belabor the point, but I do want this to be part of our videos moving forward so people can get a good sense of how these things operate. In terms of group dynamic, this was a wonderful group. They all are, I say that every single time. But a group that's riding in the winter, middle of March, is a group that's gonna be up for a little adversity and is used to riding their bikes in adverse conditions. However, we did have 4 new beginners to bike camping. We also had some beginners to us, people that were new. The age range was from about 24 up into 69. And again, an incredibly diverse crew, and that's what New York City's about, and that's what these trips are about. And I thank my lucky stars every time I come home and I'm able to ride with a group like that. The next thing we talk about is the campsite. We were at Mountain Lakes, which is in North Salem, and that's northeast Westchester County, about 60 miles north of New York City. That campsite never disappoints. It's fantastic, it's clean, it's beautiful. Firewood's always provided, and you know, never any issues with it. So just a wonderful experience at camp. And again, with mountain lakes, unless there's a weather issue, you're really not going to have issues with all kinds of other administrative kind of things. So wonderful time. Let's talk about the ride and routing. The ride was great. You know, it started at about 40 degrees. Didn't really get much warmer than that. It was kind of a damp, windy, cold day on the bike on the way up. On the way back, it was a little nicer, but we had a headwind. In terms of routing, that all went well. No one got lost. The sweeps did great. And we had a slight detour on the Hudson River Greenway, but we knew about that. So overall, the ride itself, on the way up, on the way back, 4 flats with the group, which is kind of about average, but everything went really well on the ride. Now for some of the more personal things about the things that I use. So the things that I used, the gear that I used that was different on this trip, you know, I tried out some stainless steel water bottles. You know, happy with the quality of water, but they didn't fit that great in the bike, so I still have to do some work on that. And other than that, everything else went pretty as expected. Tent, sleeping bag, these are things I use a lot. You can see them in a packing video that I recently did. There's a crow kind of crawling up there. But in terms of gear, everything went really, really well. As far as the bike goes, the bike was also really not an issue. I've ridden that bike a bunch. I'm certainly pretty in tune with how it needs to operate. We have a pretty close connection. So no real issues there. I did get a flat, had some new tires, some Schwalbe Big Bends, got a flat. Not really sure why, couldn't find out what caused it. You know, those things happen, so I'm not gonna blame the bike. You know, blame myself maybe. But the bike itself felt great. I had a new handlebar position where I moved my brakes around a little bit. That felt really comfortable. You know, we got a lot of trips to go this year, so you're kind of using that first trip to really start to suss out what's working and what's not working. So on the bike front, it went pretty well. And finally, we can talk about health and stamina and nutrition and how it went for me. You know, our off season goes from October to March, so I am off the bike a decent amount, you know, with the weather and things like that, and also taking some time. I found that this trip went really well for me. Physically, I felt the first day, I felt really strong. Got up all the hills I needed to get up. You know, stayed amongst the group as I needed to in terms of support. Second day on the way home, we had a headwind. I had a flat. So late in the game, I kind of lost some steam, I'd say. But you know, all things being considered, I think we were all in the same boat in terms of everyone on the ride. Nutrition-wise, I didn't do great on the second day. I just didn't have enough food with me. I had some bars and things, but nothing that really excited me and got me going. So I think that might have contributed a little bit to my second day slowdown late in the day. But you know, heading up, nutrition was great. We stopped a bunch. I had great dinner, great breakfast, those kinds of things. So, you know, B+ I'd give myself, you know, for really not being on the bike as much as I would have liked. And you kind of start riding yourself into the season, is how it usually works for me. So that went well too. Well guys, thanks for watching this video. Again, this is an experiment with some new formatting ideas and ways to kind of just make these videos a little more informative and a little more useful to someone that might come across them. So we have a lot of rides this year, maybe 25. So this is video 1 of a ton. So maybe the technique will get better, maybe it'll get refined. But again, I thank you for watching and have a great rest of the day.